Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go over our daily technical analysis of oil, natural gas, and solar. So I've got, again, I'm doing trading view, doing a little bit different because I can zoom in and out. It's much easier to see. Plus I already did a bunch of oil and natural gas companies, so it should already be updated in the system. So let's dive in. Let's take a look. Again, this is just my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. But here we go. And I was reading some articles. It looks like they were going to release some oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, and it's down today. It looks like we're doing a little bit of a back test, or I should say a return move to the top of this line for oil. So we broke out, we came back, and I want to see this thing launch it, after this. So if we zoom in here, take a quick look, go to a 1 year. I'm going to look at this thing up here. We come in, we come down, we pop higher, come on down. We're still kind of in this pattern here that's developing. This is today. It is down 3%. And we're coming right to support right underneath it. That's where that big old line is. And we've got this descending wedge pattern that is building out. We'll probably end inside this pattern today. It's probably my guess. And hopefully we end up going on higher. Looking at, I haven't really looked at natural gas on here. So natural gas, we'll look at UNG just to give a quick look at all. Man, this thing's been, don't use UNG. Here, I'll just go straight to SM Energy. Here's SM Energy. Go to the logarithmic chart. Do it all. We had this contraction right into a point here. That's where I was like, oh man, it's time to get in. And then you can see this thing launch higher. Kind of zoom in a little bit. We've been coming on up, consolidation period, kind of breakout, retest, launched again, and a little consolidation period up there. Let's keep zooming in. You can see these things run. And we'll probably head a little bit lower today. That's my guess. We're probably going to, basically this move here is scribing out again. We're probably like right here, somewhere on this side here. So we probably are going to come back a little bit. Maybe we even head to like $28 before moving way up. That's just a guess. But it looks like this move here is just replicated again. And then it replicates again and again and again. That's kind of Elliott wave. So that's SM Energy. Going to CDEV. Here's the big long-term view on it. The 5 year. I don't know why this thing's adjusted, skewed. Maybe because I hit log. Coming on down. Looking like it's going back up. Zooming in. Zooming in. Zooming in. Looking at this over here. Doesn't look too bad. Looks like it was coming sideways. We might break to the downside with oil going down today. We do have some support underneath here, 662. I wouldn't rule that out with the decline, but it looks like this. I mean, we've got this guy here. We broke that. We've got another one here where we've got these little kind of patterns there. Broke to that. It's going to come down with oil going down. We do have some support. Well, this one's, when these descending wedges, they usually break to the upside and move up a little bit, just like they did. Descending wedge, moving sideways. I think they released oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, so that's why it's kind of struggling here. That's CDEV there. CPE. Looking at this guy here. Going to all. This thing's volatile as heck. Zooming in. You can kind of see like a shoulder, head, shoulder developing on a big long-term scale. We've got 1 year here. We do have kind of a cup and handle there. There's the cup, handle. And let's see if where this thing ends up. Got this kind of support line coming through here. I bet you, I don't know, we'll see what happens today. Large down day, we might come back down and then probably go back up, but we'll see. That's CPE, Grand Tierra Energy. Zooming out. Looking at it from a logarithmic view, we got this huge pattern that's developed all the way here. It's about to break to the upside of this pattern. This thing looks really good for a long-term hold. The volume on the bottom here is kicked way up. That looks really good. Zooming in on this bottom here. Zoom in again. Nice big buying pressure all through here. Slow leak off of sellers all the way back down. Another buy. Tracking sideways outside of this trend line break. Man, I think this thing looks absolutely excellent to go long right here. That's what I think. So that's GTE. We've got TLRY. TLRY's got this really long-term. Let me throw a little bit thicker line in there. Long-term line going across. You're going back and forth. I zoomed in on it. Big buying pressure. Nice. Had huge selling pressure there. But the buyers have been coming back in. Look at the volume kick up on the right-hand side. Just been moving back and forth up here. Doing okay. And we've got a little trend line here that could potentially break to the downside and go back and retest down here. It's potential. And then let's look at TLRY. All do log. Whoa, log is. Yeah, doing it on a logarithmic looks a little bit different. But here's one that I was looking at. It was coming across. We did break, kind of playing to the downside on big volume here. So it's something to watch on Northern Oil and Gas. I probably would not be adding in right now. For Northern Oil and Gas, let me see here. I didn't do CPG, it looks like. Zoom in a little bit. So we got this huge shoulder developing right now. So let's go the 1 year. Doesn't look too bad and have a nice little kind of bullish engulfing on the right-hand side here. We've got pattern coming down. Descending wedge. We'll see if this thing breaks the downside with oil getting blown out. But usually those are a bullish pattern, especially if they're tilted downward like that. Looks like we've got some support coming through here. Something like that. Boom, it should break to the upside eventually. With oil going down today, it might be a little bit rough. Let's go to some solar. Tan. Oh, all. Man, it's been dragging the bottom there for a while. Let's go to 5 year. This is on the right-hand side here. Go zoom in again. We've got kind of this pattern that broke to the upside here. It's still bouncing around. I wouldn't worry about too much. It could come back. It doesn't look too bad. Looks like we've got some support underneath here. We got big buying pressure, and then the selling pressure kind of came back, slow leak off sellers. It still looks good to me. Let's do beam. I think I've logarithmic. Wow, that's all scrunched up. There's that. Let me zoom in here. Here's the 1 year. Came up, came down, kind of breaking almost through this. We could see a breakdown here, guys, on beam. Start trying to find a little bit of support there at this bottom support level. And we'll see if it holds, but it looks like a shoulder head shoulder there. Beam, let's go to sun power. Looks like we got a kind of a guy coming up there. Moving sideways. This could head a little bit lower before moving higher. Logarithmic. Not too much to really see here. So I think I'll end it there. But oil, I mean, with the release, we're seeing some downside pressure today. Saw it. And what I would do is I'm not doing anything. Just holding on. I'm going to wait for all this stuff to kind of cleanse itself out. I would be a buyer at the bottom of this downward move. And remember, don't buy into weakness, buy into strength. Let it square up and turn. So I'm going to wait for oil, and I'll probably buy a little bit more when this thing turns around. So that's what I see today. Descending wedge patterns usually break to the upside, and they're usually continuation moves to the upside. But we'll see what happens with this SPR release, if it's going to slow things down. But next year, it's still game on. That's what I'm focusing on. Next year is a game on year for energy. We're supposed to see some deficits out there, structural deficits in oil. We'll see how that manifests itself in price next year. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.